guys, in today's video we're going to be playing 2.6 at the top of ladder. So hopping in the first match here, I'm just going to go with Hog plus Log first play. I'm pretty sure this guy almost always goes with Giant Graveyard as his main deck on ladder, so it's always good to go with those prediction logs just in case you manage to hit like a skeleton army or something as the Giant Graveyard players typically play. And he will go with the queen in the back here. I think he's probably expecting me to be playing Hog EQ, so he probably wasn't expecting that I could just go with the fireball and his queen right there, so just gonna give us like some free tower damage right now. And his queen will still survive with like 1 HP though, or not like 1 HP, but like a few HP right here, so still gonna have to spend something on it. I think I'm just gonna go with skeletons on it. I'm gonna go with kind of a late log here against his graveyard just to make sure we hit the maximum number of skeletons. And he does still get quite a bit of damage on our tower, even though we defended quite well, because it is pretty hard to really stop graveyards well with this deck when you don't have an earthquake or something like that. So might be a little bit hard right here, but it is also pretty good to have the fireball against his archer queen and also against his minions and stuff like that, which I'm pretty sure he's going to be running right here. Just going to go with the Hog Rider right here to see what he has. And yeah, he will go with the minions right here. Didn't really want to waste my ice golem right there. I kind of knew I wanted to save it for his archer queen or for his minions or something like that, so just going to kind of kite his minions right here with the ice golem. I'm going to defend pretty fine right here. And yeah, the one nice thing here is that he always has to spend Snowball in combination with whatever troop he goes with to fully defend our Hog Riders. So even though he counters them pretty well, he never really gets like too good of a positive elixir trade. So it is still quite nice for us. And he keeps on giving us these fireballs on his tower with his queens, but yeah, it is kind of annoying that they keep staying alive with just a sliver of HP. So he's probably going to go aggressive here again. Yeah, he will go with the giant here, and he's also going to go with the graveyard. So gonna have to make sure we go with a set of skeletons here on the archer queen. Don't really want to get it too close to our tower, and I think Log should also hit the archer queen right here, so gonna defend pretty okay. We took like quite a lot of damage, but honestly we really defended as best as we could with the cards we had right there, so can't really blame myself right here. And I don't want to go too aggressive with the Hog Riders right here, because we can't really get too much damage if we just go with like lone Hog Riders. We kind of have to make sure we're going with like bigger hog pushes, like with ice golem plus hogs, and like going with hogs when he's low on elixir. And he will go with the giant right here, so I'm going to go with the hog plus ice golem here, kind of denying him to get like a really good skarmy off. The ice golem is going to pretty much tank most of that skarmy, so pretty nice for us right here. Going to fireball his archer queen as well, just to push it to the opposite lane so we don't have to worry about it behind our or just like behind his giant right here. So gonna go with an ice spirit as well, just to kind of hold the dark prince, but it does end up dying right there unfortunately, and might be a little bit tough here to defend this graveyard, but looks like the tower's going to do a pretty good job there along with those skeletons. And now I'm just going to go with a musketeer here in the left lane, but also helping out in the right lane against that dark prince, so should help us counter push a little bit right here. Going to go with an ice golem plus hog. He's going to like kind of set up a bit of a weird giant right there. Not really too sure why he didn't go with the giant in the right lane instead of the left lane, but I'll take it. It's going to allow our hog to get quite a few shots right there. Yeah, putting us right back into this game right now. And I'm going to go with the musketeer here in the right lane this time, just to make sure he can't go with the graveyard in the right lane. And he's going to go with the graveyard in the left lane for some reason. Not really too sure why he would do that, because he's going to get quite a bit of damage with the graveyard, but it's still on our strong side tower, so it doesn't really do too much for him right here. And I'm going to go with the Hog Rider right here behind this ice golem. I'm hoping we can like score one lucky hit or something like that, but his snowball is going to do a pretty good job, and it looks like our hog just barely won't get a shot right there, but with that fireball we're actually up a little bit of damage, so if we can maintain our lead right here, we might have a chance to win. Yeah, we just have to make sure we defend this graveyard really well right here. If we take like really any big damage, we're pretty much done here. So just gonna go with the musketeer and also gonna log away his skeletons right here. We will get a bit of damage, but we're not dead yet, so if we can get like one more good hog push, we might have a pretty good way to win right here with this ice golem plus hog. And he's gonna go with like a skarmy right into our ice golem, so it is gonna get pretty much wrecked. They're gonna log his archer queen back, hoping to like stall it for a second, but unfortunately he has defend pretty well right there. So I'm just gonna go with another hog right here, gonna kind of bridge block his dark prince, but it is still gonna cross. And okay, it's gonna be really close. He's gonna go with the snowball here, but okay, wow, our hog is gonna take it. Alright, and hopping in the next match here, I'm really still just reeling over that last game. I can't believe we won that. It was such a last second victory. We were like down the whole game, but we suddenly came back at the end. So really nice win. And I think this guy's most likely playing E-Giant. I have also faced this guy quite a few times on ladder recently, and he does always BM me, so I'm just going to give him a little bit of BM as well. I hope you guys forgive me for that. And yeah, he's even going to go with like the E-Giant first play pretty crazily, but to be honest, I'm not really surprised about this guy either, because they pretty much always do this type of stuff at top ladder nowadays. It's pretty much filled with like Electro Giants and just like weird giant decks and like Goblin Drill and whatnot, so not really too surprised. But I think our 1 HP cannon here should hopefully finish off most of his Golden Knight, and also with the Ice Spirit they're going to freeze it pretty nicely, so we defend really well there, and also our Hog got a couple of shots on his tower, so already off to a really nice start here. And it is also very good to have Cannon against the Electro Giant, because it's just such a cheap way to pull it all across the arena. It can pretty much fully counter it for just like 3 elixirs, so always really nice. And I'm going to go with the Hog Rider right here in the right lane instead of the left lane, because he's kind of blocking the lane with his troops in the left lane, and I know he can keep on blocking the lane if he wants to in the future, so it's better to do a bit of damage in both lanes just to make sure that we can attack him in whichever lane we prefer to later on. And he does actually have Sparky in his deck. I'm not really too sure why he would have Sparky in an Electro Giant deck, but I guess that's just kind of what ladder is nowadays. It do be like that, even at the top of ladder. And our Musketeer will actually get a couple shots on his tower right there, so really nice for us, and already going to put us like in quite a good lead here. And looks like he's not even going to go with the Electro Giant in front of his Sparky. He's just going to go with a Mirror Sparky, actually. So yeah, I mean, ladder's really crazy nowadays. There's actually a lot of Mirror running around top ladder. I feel like people were underrating Mirror for quite a while. After it got that little buff, people kind of stopped playing it, but then recently they started using it again, and they see like just how OP Mirror can be. And his Sparky's actually going to hit our Ice Spirit before it ends up jumping, so not the best for us right here. And he's going to go with the NATO there on our Musketeer, but still pretty good defense right here. I think his Electro Giant should die to our second cannon right there, and just going to go with the set of skeletons here on his Sparky. Should finish it off hopefully before it even shoots that Ice Golem. So yeah, really good defense right here. And we can always double Fireball plus log his Sparkies, but the only thing is that he does have Mirror as well, which could make things a little bit more tricky right here. And yeah, he's going to go with the Mirror Sparky right here, so it could be really difficult to defend, but the nice thing for us here is that he wasted his Mirror on his Sparky, so he won't be able to go with like a Mirror Electro Giant right here, which is going to help us out a little bit, because it would be pretty difficult to deal with the Mirror Electro Giants right here. Just going to make sure we distract his Sparky pretty well there with the skeletons, so that our Musketeer does quite a bit of damage before it ends up dying. And yeah, I think we actually could be fine right here. Just going to log back his Sparky on the left lane and going to get that Musketeer finishing off his Sparky pretty nicely there in the right lane. So actually really solid defense right there. I'm going to pull his Mega Minion back with our Hog Rider. He does actually have Mirror NATO right there. I was kind of hoping we would get a few Hog hits, but his Mirror does kind of save him right there. But that means he won't be able to go with like a Mirror Electro Giant or like a Mirror Sparky right here. So that should be quite nice for us. I'm just going to set up an early cannon right here. I know we might go with like a lightning or some spell on it, but we can just easily cycle back to another one. And he does go with the lightning right here. I already kind of knew that he would be playing lightning in his deck, because I had faced him like a few times recently. So I was already expecting that, but now we're already back to another Musketeer and another cannon right here. So should be pretty fine for us. And then unfortunately the Golden Knight actually dashes on our tower. I was kind of hoping it would dash on the Ice Golem that we played a little bit higher up there, but unfortunately not. And we're going to actually have to go with the cannon straight into his Sparky right there. I think it would have splashed our tower as well as our Musketeer there if we hadn't gone with the sacrificial cannon, but should be fine. You're going to go with the Hog Rider in the left lane just to apply a bit of pressure and not really allow him to build up like a huge Sparky push in the right lane. And he does have to go with the Mirror Mega Minion as well right there, so that's already pretty nice for us. We're always baiting out his Mirror on like his little units like his Tornado and Mega Minion, so he's not really able to go with like a big Mirror Sparky push in. I'm going to go with an Ice Golem plus Hog Rider right here, because he wasted his Mirror already, so he won't be able to go with like a Mirror Sparky on that Hog push in. He's actually going to NATO the Hog Rider back instead of towards the King Tower, so I think that was a bit of a mistake by him right there. It is going to allow our Hog to get one shot on his tower, and we're already like back to the rest of the stuff we need to really defend, so I'm just going to go with the Hog Rider right here. His Electro Giant's kind of body blocking him from going with like a NATO or something like that, so Hog will get one shot on his tower, and at this point we really just need like a few more logs and fireballs on his tower to win, but I don't want to get ahead of myself right here. Just going to make sure we defend perfectly first. Musketeer just putting in the work right here, and yeah, going to have to throw a little bit of VM at him, because he actually threw like quite a bit of VM at me before when I faced him earlier, so yeah, going to make sure to VM him a little bit, just making the world a better place, just destroying these Electro Giant players. And I think he's probably just going to give up here. Hog is going to take the game here, so really nice win. And in the next match, we're going to be up against Elsiop. So Elsiop's actually one of the best players to ever play Clash Royale. He won like the World Finals in 2018, and he also like won a ton of other competitions, so he's definitely a really good player right here. I'm not really sure what he's going to be playing, but should be a good match either way against like such a good player. And he does have Mortar right here, so might be a little bit harder to face Mortar compared to like when we run Hog EQ with this 2.6 deck, because we don't have the Earthquake in here. We do have Fireball instead, but honestly Fireball's also really nice to like kill the other units like Mother Witches, Skeleton Dragons, Flying Machines, all of that stuff, so it is still quite nice to have Fireball in the deck instead of Earthquake. And ever since the Earthquake got nerfed, it barely does any damage to the towers, so I feel like it's not really too bad to have it instead of Earthquake. And I'm also going to go with a Fireball here on his bats. It's a really aggressive play, but still going to force out those skeletons as well right there. And it's just like kind of good to go with these aggressive fireballs and whatnot, and whatever aggressive plays we can make here, because it's going to be pretty hard to get damage in this matchup later on. So kind of just want to make sure we get in a pretty good spot early on, just to make sure that later on, even if he starts chipping our towers down, we should still be a little bit ahead and should be able to take the win. But yeah, definitely too early to say how we're going to do in this match. We're just up a little bit of damage, but we got quite a nice start there. So yeah, pretty happy with this spot. Just going to kind of chill out here, and just going to like always make sure we're going to be like cycling our hogs really quick in this matchup, because even though he does have mortar to always counter our hogs, we can probably outcycle him just by a little bit in this matchup. So going to be able to hopefully get some hogs when he doesn't have mortar in cycle, and should allow us to break through hopefully. And yeah, just going to go with the cannon right here. I don't know what spell he has in his deck, if he has like fireball or poison. He does have fireball right here, so that should be a little bit better for us than if he had poison, because he won't be able to like minor plus poison, which is a pretty hard combo to stop. And I'm going to go with an ice golem plus hog here, just trying to be aggressive as I was saying, because I know he doesn't have mortar in cycle, so I think our hog will get one shot right there. Really nice hog hit. Doesn't seem like too much, but it's definitely going to add up over time. And if we can maybe get like a couple other lucky hog shots throughout the course of this game, it should put us in a pretty good spot to win. I'm just going to go with the Musketeer here in the opposite lane. Like, he can't fireball the weak side tower in our Musketeer there, so just going to like either give him the option to fireball our strong side tower and Musketeer, or just like save his fireball for something else. So he's just going to save it right here, I guess, and we're going to get a pretty good fireball ourselves there on his mortar and Valkyrie. I normally wouldn't go with like a fireball in the mortar, because even if you fireball the mortar and you have a Hog Rider like that you just played, it's still going to fully counter the Hog Rider either way, but it is still going to allow us to get like a decent amount of chip damage on his tower just by these fireballs adding up. And he'll go with kind of a late mortar there to counter our hog. We don't get the log down too quickly right there, so he is going to fully defend, but I think we should be pretty fine, right? You're going to go with another Hog Rider right there, and his queen will survive with like a 1 HP right there. I don't know if the Ice Golem Death Nova will kill it. I think not. And yeah, it will unfortunately get one shot on our tower right there, but we are still up by like around 700 damage almost, so pretty happy with this spot. He's going to go with the Valkyrie at the river, but honestly our Ice Spirits are always doing such a good job at catching these miners, so he's not really able to get too much miner chip damage. And also our skeletons are pretty nice to kind of finish off his miners. And he's going to go with another mortar here to defend our hog, but we're just going to go with the fireball on it just to like get chip damage on his tower, not really to break through his mortar. It's more for just chip damage to use these fireballs here. And he's going to go with another miner in the same spot there, but we just get a pretty nice ice golem right here on it. It is going to kind of body block it pretty nicely right there. He's going to get one miner shot, but still really good defense overall. I'm going to go with a fireball here on his queen, hoping to like knock it back, maybe allow our hog to get one shot, but unfortunately he does defend really well right there. So just going to go with a cannon right here on his Valkyrie. Don't want to even spend an Ice Spirit on it, because I just want to save my Ice Spirit to hopefully catch his miner once again. He does go with the miner plus log here, but Ice Spirit's going to kind of stun the miner a little bit later there, and going to allow our skeletons to kind of pick it up pretty nicely. So just going to go with the hog plus fireball once again. I think we're just going to have to fireball cycle him at this point. Not really sure if he's going to actually allow us to get any hog hits on his tower, but we're pretty much just like 2 fireballs and a couple logs away from winning. So I think we might be able to take this game right. We're just going to defend pretty nicely there with the cannon, and just going to skeleton surround his queen. Also just going to make sure we get back to another fireball pretty quickly right here before he gets like too much damage with his miners and whatnot. And yeah, as long as we defend his queens well enough, I think this should be game over here. He's gonna log our tower, but he won't have log and cycle for our Hog Rider right here, so I think it is going to be a good game. He kind of just like messes up his mortar completely, and that will be a good game. Alright, and hopping in the next match here, we're going to be up against this guy, so just going to cycle an Ice Spirit, and also going to go with a log here in a second on his tower. Not really too sure what this guy's playing, so just going to kind of bait out a response from him with those cycle cards. He will go with the mini P.E.K.K.A in the back right here, so most likely going to be a Sparky deck. Nothing else really runs mini P.E.K.K.A in this meta besides like some kind of off meta hog decks and whatnot, so could potentially be a hog deck, but I think it's probably going to be Sparky right here. So just gonna go with the Hog Rider right here at the river just to like see what he does against it. He does go with the arrows and Skarmy as well, so pretty sure it's going to be Sparky here. Also has a slight chance to be Giant Graveyard, but more likely going to be Sparky here. And yeah, Skarmy does clean up everything pretty nicely. You're just going to cycle a log. Don't really want to go with like a Ice Golem in the back right away, just in case he goes with like a Sparky right into it. And yeah, you will go with the Sparky in the back right. You're just going to fireball it, because 2 fireballs plus a log does end up killing Sparky. So if we can cycle back to another fireball pretty quickly here, we might have a chance to defend his Sparky push pretty flawlessly. And yeah, 2.6 obviously has like a super quick cycle, so I think it should be pretty nice to defend right here. He's going to go with the Minion Horde as well behind his Sparky, but I think if we get like another fireball up here, we should be able to defend really nicely there. Really well played by us right there on the defensive end, and he's just going to give us a laughing emote, so yeah, I guess he's kind of surprised we actually defended that so nicely, but yeah, really good defense right here. He's gonna keep laughing, but yeah, pretty happy with this spot, and I think it should be even easier for us to defend in double elixir, because we can always cycle back to like a bunch of fireballs in double elixir, so it might be even easier for us then. And just gonna go with the Hog Rider right here at the river, hoping he has like a slow reaction time on his mini P.E.K.K.A. And looks like he does have a pretty slow reaction right there, so Hog will actually get one shot on his tower, so really nice for us right here. Just gonna go with a set of skeletons right here just to pull his mini P.E.K.K.A. And he will go with the zap there, but ever since the Ice Spirit got buffed, it just has like such a long stun duration, so I think it is going to fully counter the mini P.E.K.K.A. right there. And since it is double elixir now, I'm not afraid to go with the Ice Golem in the back, even same lane as a Sparky. Looks like he's going to go with the Sparky in the opposite lane, so he's going to go with the Hog Rider right here, plus a Fireball, but unfortunately he only goes with bats. I was kind of hoping to hit like a minion horde or something, but it was still pretty good for us right there, because it allowed us to get a couple hog shots either way. And yeah, I think we should be fine right here. Gonna cycle back to another Fireball pretty shortly here if he tries to go with like a minion horde or something like that, but yeah, I think we should be fine. Ice Golem also gonna kind of stop his mini P.E.K.K.A. and also his Sparky there for a few seconds, so really clean defense, and also the second cannon helping out a little bit against that mini P.E.K.K.A. He will go with the minion horde this time, but Hog is still gonna get one shot on his tower, and I think we should be able to kind of counter this minion horde pretty cheap with just our cycle cards. Don't even want to waste my Fireball in it, because I know we can just go with like a Fireball on his Sparky instead. And okay, unfortunately his mini P.E.K.K.A. actually somehow stayed alive right there. I was hoping our tower would just like target his mini P.E.K.K.A. instead of his minions right there, but gonna pretty much waste our Hog Rider right there, so a little bit bad by me, but I think we should be fine either way. Not really too sure why this guy keeps on going with split lane pushes like that, because it's not really working out too well for him to be spreading his push so much, because it's allowing both of our towers to like shoot it at the same time, but I'll take it I guess. And looks like he will go with the Sparky in the back right here in the same lane as our Hog Rider, but he went with it pretty late right there, so he's gonna get 2 shots off, and at this point we just need like one more Fireball to finish off the game here, so I don't even think he's gonna have enough time to pressure us before we get the second Fireball off. So yeah, really clean defenses this game, really nice win here, and I'll definitely take it all day against Sparky. Alright, and in the next match we're going to be up against this guy, so no clue what this guy's really playing either. I haven't faced like quite a few of these guys, so not really too sure what they're going to be running right here, but it does have Miner, so might be like a Mortar deck, might be like a Miner cycle deck, not really too sure here. Just going to like cycle my cheap cards, try to see what he's running. He does have Electro Spirit as well, so I think it's going to be a Miner Rocket deck, which could be a little bit of a difficult matchup right here, because yeah, his Inferno Tower is going to be pretty hard to break through since we don't have like an Earthquake or something like that in this deck, but at the same time, we can probably outcycle him pretty nicely here when we go with like our cheap cards and like just like keep on spamming our hogs as well, because the one nice thing about this matchup is that his Inferno Tower is 5 elixir, so we're always going to get a positive 1 elixir trade when he tries to go with like an Inferno Tower against our Hog Rider. And I'm just going to go with the Hog Rider at 0 here, because I know we didn't have enough elixir for Inferno Tower right away, and he didn't even cycle back to it, I think, so it is going to allow us to get 1 hog hit there against his Delivery, Electro Spirit, and Skeletons. So yeah, already off to a pretty good start. We have to make sure we're really aggressive early on, because I know later on he's probably going to start rocket cycling us, so we have to make sure we're really aggressive in single elixir just to like hopefully get as much damage as possible. And yeah, it's going to kind of chill out right here. Just going to go with the cannon here on his Miner. I don't really have like skeletons or something in cycle, so kind of had to waste the cannon there, but it is still going to stop his Miner pretty nicely right there. And yeah, I think we should be fine right here. Just going to go with like my log right here in a second, and also just going to make sure we're just keeping up the pressure pretty nicely with the hogs. He's going to go with that Dark Prince there in the back, so can't go with the hog in that lane, but I'm just going to go with the hog in the other lane, and we're still going to bait out the Inferno Tower, even though it's on the strong side tower that we went with our hog, so I'll definitely take it. And just going to Fireball his Inferno Tower so that we can cycle back to another hog really quickly and won't have to worry about his Inferno Tower, and it's also going to get us quite a bit of tower chip damage right there, so he's going to cycle some skeletons in the back. You're kind of predicting that he would go with a Miner at that time, and also going to go with the hog at the same time as his Miner, because I don't think he has enough elixir for Inferno Tower right away. He does go with the Inferno Tower kind of late right there, but going to allow our hog to get quite a few shots on his tower, so yeah, not really too sure how he's going to come back at this point. Really nice hog right there, really heads up hog to go with right as he went with like the Miner plus log right there, so yeah, really nice position for us right here. We're going to go with another hog and also a log here just in case he goes with like skeletons or something like that, and yeah, he will cycle back to another Inferno Tower, but at this point I don't really think there's too much of a way for him to win, because our hogs are just always forcing out that 5 elixir Inferno Tower, and we can always just Fireball cycle him to finish off the game if necessary. So gonna go with another hog right here. We'll go with a Miner Rocket, but don't really think that's gonna get enough damage to like win him any game or something like that. So looks like the hog will take his tower right there. So yeah, really nice games, really nice video, and if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!